About a year ago, I hiked Mount Kosciuszko. Now, for those of you who know me, you know for years I've been saying that hiking is silly, dumb, stupid, pointless. It's pretty much walking for no reason. However, a friend of mine, Ashley Smith, we were down near Mount Kosciuszko a year ago, and he convinced me. He convinced me to go on this 24-kilometer hike up the highest peak of Australia, and it was horrible. It was truly horrible. First of all, I had no hiking gear, and so I think I was wearing Chuck Taylors or Vans or one of these shoes that just have zero support, and I was in pain, like true pain. In fact, that last part of that hike, I remember that last 500 meters was super steep, and I was literally at the place where I was just taking one or two steps and then have to have a rest, couple more steps and then rest. And poor Ashley, he must have had such a boring time just waiting for me to catch my breath to be able to take a couple more steps. Now here's the thing though, in this pointlessness of hiking, I started to see that it's not horrible, that there was this real beauty to it, even though I was in pain at that point. And truthfully, when I did get to the top of Mount Kosciuszko and raised my hands, I had this ecstasy in my heart. I had this joy in my heart, and honestly the scenery was just beautiful, and I got it. All of a sudden I just understood why people do this. It's beautiful. And see, if my pastor friend Ashley, if he didn't convince me or influence me or demonstrate to me how awesome hiking was, honestly to this day I still wouldn't do it. And my wife would really not like that, because my wife actually does love hiking. See, we really do have an influence on people. God has given us this gift to influence people, and the reason He's given us this gift primarily is so that others can see faith in us, so that they too may then go and have faith. There's an amazing story in Luke chapter 8. It starts off with this ruler, this leader Jairus, and he has a 12-year-old daughter who's very sick to the point of nearly dying. And so he comes to Jesus and begs Jesus, please, 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 my daughter is dying, please come and help. And Jesus immediately starts heading for his house. On the way for Jesus to help this 12-year-old daughter, there's a crowd, there is busyness, and there's people all around, and Jesus all of a sudden says, "Stop! Somebody touched me." He's looking in the crowd. Who touched me? Who touched me? Find who touched me. And finally, when this woman who couldn't hide, she shared a testimony. She shared why she touched him. So don't miss this. There's Jesus and this man with a 12-year-old daughter who's dying, hearing the testimony of this lady who's been sick for 12 years and no one could help. It was impossible for anyone to heal her. Yet she had faith and stretched out her hand, touched Jesus' cloak, and immediately she was healed. At this moment, the Bible says some of Jairus' friends and helpers came to him and said, "Look, don't worry, mate, it's too late, your daughter's died." But then Jesus turns to Jairus and he says this very powerful, powerful sentence. He says, "Don't be afraid, just believe and she will be healed." See, these stories aren't two random stories. They're not disconnected. What Jairus needed to do right now was near impossible. He had to believe that the impossible could happen. He just heard his daughter's dead. How on earth could Jairus believe? Well, see, because he just saw what belief can do. What she was going through, what he heard testified, was that it was impossible for anyone to help me. But I believed if I touch you, I'll be healed. And as Jairus is hearing this, as he's seeing the influence of this woman, he himself is then influenced to believe, and that even though he heard his daughter had just died, he chooses to believe and still take Jesus with him to his daughter. This story in Luke chapter 8 is an insight into God's will for you and me. Belief is sometimes really hard, and we're going through a crisis right now in Australia and around the world where there will be some who'll find it hard to believe. And the best thing we can do for them is to choose to believe ourselves in God and to express our belief in God so that God can use that, just like He did in Jairus, so that those who see you may believe and be saved as well. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that Monday Morning Matter video. The challenge for this week is to share your testimony with 2 people. Tell 2 individuals, whether it's on social media, you call them, find a way. I know we're all trapped indoors with the coronavirus going on, but I want you to tell 2 people what Jesus has done for you and about your faith in Him. God bless.